Whoops, running on empty? Enjoy a 6 cents per litre fuel discount at your local Caltex with Pumped every day. Ah, feels good, eh? Get it at any participating Caltex.
This isn't about printing. It's about better results with over 90 offices right across the country in residential, commercial and rural.
Kina tangata whenua, kua taimai e ngā manihiri, kua taimai nei hi tēnei rā to the locals and visitors, tēnā koutou, no mai, haere mai to beautiful Taupo in Aotearoa, New Zealand. We're here at Owen Delany Park for the New Zealand Ultimate Secondary Schools Championship, both open and women's divisions. This morning we have Pakuranga College, I think they're playing in the blue, and versus Wellington in the Opens division. Ko Maka Ho, and with me this morning for play-by-play analysis is Troy. Troy, pretty challenging conditions for both teams today.
Yeah, pretty windy here in Taupo today. It's going to be very much an upwind, downwind battle, especially with packed numbers today. They've got Wellington said there was 6 players today, which is going to be trying for them to try to keep the legs running. But yeah, it should be very interesting.
Excellent. I think we had about, was it mid 35 knot winds slightly earlier this morning. It should be easing maybe down to about 18, 19. But certainly in the warm-up, they were certainly having trouble with control of that disc, certainly into the upwind.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how the teams play throughout the day, and I think just getting those nerves out, especially starting on the live stream for their first game, might have a little bit to do with it. But yeah, we'll see if they can settle in and get some of these upwind points. Yeah,
they'll be happy to get the first game out of the way. The in terms of secondary school ultimate, and I know it's schools ultimate in schools has been a great growth area for ultimate across New Zealand. In terms of pathways, where can they go once schools tend to have sometimes waves that come through them? They'll have a group of players that come through that have played together for 2 or 3 years, and then they may leave. So we may have some school teams that did really well last year, but they may have a lot of fresh faces this year.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of pathways. You can go into university, where we have quite a large tertiary competition between all the universities. A lot of school kids go into that. There's an adult club season that you can get into through your local clubs. A few of these boys from Wally and Pack have played for their crew from Auckland and Wild Kitchens from Wellington, and so there are lots of pathways you can grow frisbee. But yeah, like you said, a lot of teams come as groups of friends and they just want to continue playing together, so losing that is kind of big for schools, where we see a lot of schools drop off. Yeah, we're into the game already. So we've seen Pack starting downwind, Wild Kitchens starting downwind. We're trying to get the frisbee up to that high side to continue pushing for those points. Good disc handles right now. Pack just happy living with it. Big pressure on the mark from Elliot Mance.
Oh, it is tight D.
Here we go, inside. Nice catch. Here we go. Just small passes for Pack right now. They're known for their like little squirrely handler movements, so this is really nice. Good collection. Here we go. Just over that halfway mark now. Oh, tipped. A turnover, but here we are. Wellington going for the downwind now. If they can cement this point, it's going to be pretty good to then keep Pack on the back foot. Friendly fist bump there. Puck goes up down the line. Oh. Yeah, I think we'll be seeing a lot of this going the downwind. Just teams wanting to put the pressure back on the opposition by putting it back at the end zone and making the team going upwind grind a bit more.
Joy tukus or turnovers in the game, they're almost a natural part of the game, particularly in conditions like this, and particularly at the school level. But as soon as whether it's a intercepted pass, the disc goes out, or it falls to the ground, and I know some players take it hard, and we may remember when we were growing up throwing a frisbee, backhand to each other on the beach, but that's normally in fairly settled conditions. What are some of the variables that when you're passing that can affect whether a pass can get through?
Yeah, so number one is defense, like how much defensive pressure you're feeling on the mark or on the receiver. Being able to obviously throw and catch, good throws that are easily catchable. This one's a bit hard. It's on the line right there. He nearly has it, but can't regain control. But then also just like wind is also huge. Currently, as we're seeing, it's very hard for Pack to get up that field where Wellington can just slow that down field. But yeah, we're just feeling like just being able to keep those turnover rate low is really big in competitive frisbee, so just being able to keep that disc in hand.
Yeah. Plus also is that like frisbee, there's lots of throws, but the base throws are either the māmuri, the backhand, or the māmua, the forehand. And the backhand normally comes a lot more natural because that's what we've thrown. It's like tennis, backhand, but throwing the disc forehand is a really complex skill, and you'll notice that the defensive players normally try and stay on that backhand side on the māmuri, so it forces the player to try and throw forehand to try and create that error.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those. A lot of people coming into the sport have thrown a frisbee on the beach, etc. But the forehand is a lot less natural. So forcing players into that is a strategic play.
Oh, close look. That was a bigger. Throwing it down, but just not quite connecting with the receiver. So in terms of the field that we're playing on, we've got the two goal lines there, and it's, for those who haven't seen Ultimate before, there may be whānau or friends, ngā hoa, who are watching this for the first time. It's a little bit like netball or American football, trying to pass it between team members. You can't run with the disc. And the idea is to pass it amongst your team and then throw it to the point where a team member, and look up here, this may be a great example, can catch it, in that end zone. But of course your defensive player is doing everything they can to stop that. But this is where speed comes into it. Kia tere, be as fast as you can, because if you see the teams lining up here, if they're matching with the player, the defensive player is not going to let you get away, because if they can be as close to you wherever you cut, wherever you move, they may be able to either stop the handler passing to you, or if the handler does try and throw the disc to you, you can get a hand to it. And then that causes the turnover, the tuku.
Yeah. We're currently seeing Pack actually doing pretty well in these windy conditions. They've had a few shots into their own goal in the outwind break, and that last huck just going up there was very close, but just floating for a bit too long on the taller receiver again there. But yeah, like we say, they're just living with that disc at the back, and the handlers right now just looking for that inside break. And that's a goal. There we go. Upwind break for the Pack.
Nice. Pakuranga kia mua mate kotahi up by 1. Now, even though we may not viewers may not be able to hear it on the screen. While the defensive player is matching up with the handler, the person with the disc at that time, there's a stall count going on. They haven't got all day, and it's a count to
10.
10. So it's and actually that's part of the beauty of Ultimate is that it is. You'll see there's no referees or umpires on the field. It is totally self-reffed. Which means if there's a dispute, if someone thinks they've been fouled or it was out, is that the game will stop. People will normally stay in the position that they are in, and then the two players talk together to resolve it. And if it, I suppose this is unlike a lot of other sports, the emphasis here is on fairness. I think we're lining up here for of course, after every point, the team that has scored keeps possession, and they will now do a kume, a pull to the other end, and that's what Pakuranga has just let go. The objective of the pull is to get as far as possible, but if it goes out,
yeah, it's trying to get either the most distance, the most hang time in the air to give yourself most time to be able to get down there and play some defense.
Yeah,
nothing's more. Nothing really feels more intense than a team rushing at you just as you catch a pull. So
yeah, I like that. Even though the disc drops, Pakuranga's they're straight back onto defense. I like that focus. There's no standing around hanging your head.
Yeah, straight on, getting straight on that mark. Trying to get that disc back is a great attribute to have. Good pressure though.
Yeah.
There you go. Pat going for that downwind point now. The wind's behind him, so throwing nice and high will keep it from dropping onto the floor. Pressured.
It's good pressure.
Here we go. Oh. Even though the wind's coming downfield, it just kind of speeds the disc up a little bit also. So
now, in terms of catching, there's different handholds, but ideally the catch would be
clapping.
Yeah, two hands, hand on bottom, hand on top.
Yeah, if it shoots through your hands, you then have your body behind it, so that's a little bit easier to catch. We see a lot of people going for either one hand or two-handed grabs, claw catching at the front. But if you don't actually keep that in the hands, then it's just going to bounce out. And so give yourself that secondary catches. Hey.
There we go. Pakuranga score up by 2. Wellington are struggling a little bit in these conditions and the pressure that Pakuranga are putting on defence. Plus, they've got a very small squad this year.
Yeah, I think that just the amount of players they have, I think we'll slowly try to get to them. I think from the start they're thinking the amount of effort that can go in. 6 people is very hard to play with, but they're doing well so far just to keep up and keep putting that pressure on. But Pack are dealing with it quite well right now.
Wellington are having a bit of a korero, a chat on the goal line, just getting some advice on coaching, how they can rework that, maybe a slight change of strategy, what they're doing well, what they need to work on. And we'll have a kume, a pull, again from Pakuranga, but this time it will be into the wind. Now, games for this stage of the tournament, 1st to 15, but there's and we'll have a half time as soon as the first team reaches 8. But there's also a soft cap. What's a soft cap? It's 50 minutes.
That's soft cap of 50 minutes. Games to 15, half at 8.
Yeah. So at 50 minutes, if no team has reached 15, we finish the point that we're playing on. We add 1 point to the highest score, and then the first team to reach that wins.
Yeah, Jamie Mee with the pull. He gets it over halfway, but it just rolls back a little bit with that wind. So Wellington in a threatening position right now. Got over half the field to work with.
Now, I'm just looking at what Wellington have set up there. They've got two kai kōkiri or handlers there with the disc who will pass it to each other. The rest of the team is lined up sort of in the middle, and they're now doing cuts from that line. Oh, and they've gone up. Nice, looking for another cut. Good defense from Pakuranga.
Oh,
reached it through.
Close one.
Yeah, good pressure from Pakuranga.
Yeah, cuts to that front corner are going to be very. It's the best to be able to do for your team. You know, gives you the best chance at scoring. Is just cutting towards that front corner and letting your handler throw it to you, but just couldn't connect down there currently. Oh, that's a high one. Oh, good lay attempt.
Yeah,
keep that one alive.
Nice effort. So right on the goal line, good opportunity here for Wellington.
4 back, no handlers back currently, 4 cutters. Here we go. Fakes him off to the front, and there we go.
And we're in.
Wellington's on the board.
Nice, 2-1 to Pakuranga.
The old head nod off to the side, thank you, and that's a goal.
It is incredibly hard sometimes to stick with your player from a defensive point of view. When an offensive player heads in a direction or fakes in one direction and heads in another, and if the handler's looking for that, because that's part of a play, it takes a lot of effort for a defensive player. On the other hand, though, in that goal area, it's a little bit restricted on space compared to the rest of the field. So sometimes it's easier to poach a little bit, sort of cover one, possibly 1.5 players at the same time.
Absolutely. I think, especially in the goal line area, it's really hard to, not to get free as such, but it's always easier running away than chasing someone. So
yeah, yeah. So here's Wellington getting. I think they're ready for the kume, the pull to start this next point. They'll wait for Pakuranga to line up on the line. Normally they'll put a hand up or a disc up to signal basically, are you ready? The other team will respond. There we go, hands up, and we'll now see that kume heading upwind. There have to be a lot of power in this to get some distance. Nice, drifts well over 3/4. Nice, it's caught.
Just before it goes out, swings it to the middle. Big lefty flick around the corner there, but just can't connect. Just over the head. Wellington with the chance to break. Yeah, we are with the small roster you see on the. I'm not sure if you can see on the screen right now, but Pac have quite a few subs right now, so just being able to continuously run as hard as you can while Wellington gets a little bit more tired throughout, and even throughout this tournament, it will just get a little bit more and more hard for Wellington to play. Oh, they look like a good block, but Elliot Mance thought he had control of that frisbee, so they'll have a discussion about that right now on the field.
If you look, they're doing the hand signals. They think it's a strip, I believe. So they're doing hand signals, and now the two players are discussing about it. They'll say, this is what I think happened. The other one will say, this is what I think happened. And now they have resolved it.
Yeah, it was a contested call, so the Pac defender thought that he got to it first, and Elliot did not have control, so... Ooh.
Another tuku. Pakuranga will move up and take the disc.
Cheeky hammer across the top there, over the shoulder of your defender, but just can't rein it in. The defender got there. Nice block.
So a hammer's similar to a blade, isn't it? Instead of a backhand or a forehand, it's pretty much straight over, and the disc is instead of flat, it's vertical.
It's just upside down, really. So you're
Yeah.
throwing it over your head and kind of curving it into your receiver. There's quite a lot of different throws you can throw, but we'll mainly see those three at this tournament, I think. Cheeky fake. Cheeky fakey backhand. Flick
up.
around. Oh.
Nearly got one hand to it.
Yeah. You can see the wind currently on a few of the players' shirts just billowing along. So,
So the two handlers to the left, if you'll see for Wellington, passing to each other, but another tuku. Pakuranga on offense again. And someone's open. Nice pass.
yeah, great throw into open space right there.
And so Pakuranga, Kemua, Mate Rua, up by 2.
Yeah, Oakley with the score there. Pac's doing quite well with their handler movement. This is a great throw out into that open side space. And the defender just can't get there. But, yeah. Just that cheeky fake step and off he goes. It's a great
Nice.
shot.
And there was a perfect catch. Hand on bottom,
Exactly.
hand on top.
Clap catching.
Yeah.
Especially in this wind.
Yeah.
Well,
In fact, the team that's going downwind has a definite advantage, whichever
absolutely.
team it is.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Especially at this level, it's even at adult level, it's really hard to be able to continuously push passes upwind. So upwind, downwind breaks are important in this game. Pack have already shown that they can do it though with one break up, so we'll see if they can get another here. You see Rory Moore giving us some coaching on the sideline about the pools.
Wellington still having a chat about strategy, what they can do. A small team, they'll be starting to feel tired. There's no, when you try and lose your defensive player, you're full out sprinting and stopping and changing direction and then accelerating again. There's very few sports that most of the game is like that, and we're talking about quite a large field, certainly larger than a netball court or a basketball court. So guys get tired, and Wellington haven't got a lot of players here to keep running those subs through. Now that Kume went out on the full, so
yeah, out on the full means that they can either choose to take it from where it went out, or they can take it from the brick mark.
Which is an X you can just see to the left, far left of the screen, and up.
Up goes the hammer, bobbled and caught in the zone.
Nice, Wellington pull one back.
Yeah. He's not happy with the bobble, but that's a point. That's a point.
It doesn't matter as long as it doesn't hit the ground. It can bounce off players' bodies. It can you can juggle it, but as long as you catch it and you stop that spin in the end, and you've secured it with 1 foot or both feet within the goal area, it's considered a goal.
And Mitchell Sue bobbling it, but he just brings it in. He's angry they bowled it, but that's a point, and that's a hard hammer to catch. It's coming down into him. Defensive pressure on the back. Ooh,
nice.
Nice catch.
And again, the advantage of playing downwind.
Exactly. Here we go now. Time for Wellington to try to get this break back, going upwind. Hopefully they can string a few of these small passes or find a handler in power position and just float up. We've got maybe the tallest man on the field in Hugo currently. So
it's a little bit hard to see the... I don't think Pakuranga have actually got numbers on their uniforms, have they?
They've got small numbers on their sleeve, but pretty hard to see from here.
Certainly hard to see from here, so yeah. Apologies if we haven't been able to name players specifically.
Mm-hmm.
He was tempted, wasn't he? We had a cutter heading downfield.
They currently had 2 Wellington players on that man going deep, so they've gone to man on man currently. So, ooh, unlucky bobble there. Here we go for Wellington now. Elliot Mance rallying the troops into a vertical stack. Pack coach Rory Moore calling for no unders as it goes deep.
Had a pick called.
Pick called on him. Pick calls when the defender can't catch up to the receiver, so either by running to their own team or the opposition. See here on the replay, he tries to catch up but calls pick. The rules is you have to be 3 meters within 3 meters within your receiver to be able to call pick. But they think it did affect the call, so off they go back to the thrower.
So it's like almost running off another play, and it may be unintentional. You've run a path that the defensive player can't follow you as closely as they'd want to because they would run into one of the other team.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a screen in basketball.
Oh, we're up.
Inside flick.
Reach.
Oh, close. Got fingertips to it, but just couldn't rein it in. It's a lovely shot. Upwind, inside out forehand between the defenders. Kind of just turns over a little bit in that wind, but
we did get fingers to it.
It's close. As Packers go the other way with a huge hug.
Nice.
Open receiver.
Got another cut. I would have been tempted to let that go, but maybe not. Maybe in better conditions. And I think that's a good option.
Yeah, they're looking for that chilly offense. I think that dragged across the ground just then. Oh, unlucky. The wind just forcing that into the ground there, just scraping the grass. Wanted to get another shot at it. Another hut goes up. Yeah, trying conditions currently. As we see, the unders are really hard to get off, especially flick forehands. They're just really hard to get off in this wind, upwind, so having to resort to just backhand only. Straight into the defender's hands. Mitchell. Elliott with the disc now. Just goes for another backhand hark.
Just couldn't quite reach it. It's tough in this upwind. It's even hard to read the disc. And it's not just a steady wind. It's fluctuating up and down, eddies. So the disc can move around quite a bit in flight. So I'm not surprised that we're having quite a few tuku turnovers.
It's a good attacking position for Wellington right now.
Nice transition. If they look to the left, nice.
Swinging.
See the cuts for the Wellington players trying to get free in that end zone.
Another hammer. That's an unwin break for Wellington. Cheeky hammers. All goals currently for Wellington, I think, from hammers. So
Wellington have worked their way back into this game. Well done, 3-3. Look at that, we'll see. Oh, nice fake for a bit.
The defender forcing that, and then the pump fake to get back around him.
Yeah.
It's good. As you see, Ale just wanted to score. Wanted to throw.
And to be honest, for a hammer in that position, height's an advantage.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a mismatch there. You could have even put it up high if we needed, but you just wanted a safe pass.
Yeah. It's 3 things that make you good at Frisbee: throwing, being quick, or being tall.
Yeah.
And having multiple of those ones.
Yeah, you can't.
Better.
You can coach 2 of them.
Yeah,
you can't coach height. So you go Cohen with the point there to even up Wellington and Pakuranga 3-3.
Just in this brief break, we'd like to shout out our former TD, Riley Van Turnout. Unfortunately couldn't be here today due to a medical mishap, but hey, shout out to you, my guy. Thank you so much for all the work you've put in so far, and hopefully this one's smoothie this weekend.
Actually, Ultimate, like a lot of school sport, is full of people who donate so much of their time and energy. They may have played themselves, or even while they're still playing, in Riley's case, who make these events possible.
Yeah.
We're back in play. Pakuranga has the disc.
Slow chase up, big slow chase on that mark, but here we go. Now they're all on. So this up the line. Nice little dishy there. Good movement from Pack, just working that up.
See, the defensive player from Wellington is trying to force him to have to throw to his... Oh, just...
It was great foot movement on that mark.
Had him well covered.
Ben McLanahan. Great work from him, just moving his feet and just moving back and forth, making the thrower think twice about what he was trying to throw, and so doing a scuba fake from Alan Mats, but just another turnover. But yeah, they're working well. The cuts are coming out of the side of the stack, and looking for those unders. Flick huck goes up. Oh, I just can't keep a hold of it. We're seeing good options taken though, with throwing to open receivers, but just the conditions is making that a little bit harder. Oh, way to toe that in, but not a goal. High release back in around. Hey, goal for Wellington. A break, up by 1.
Ke mui mā te koha. Kotahi, Wellington 4-3 over Pakuranga.
Rory Zhang with the goal there. Yeah, I think Wellington just took a little while to get into this game, but just low numbers, getting a bit warmed up, but they've just started putting on some points. Like, this is a great catch while keeping his feet in. That toe drag, yeah, great work. And they're just the cheeky high over top, high release back in. Wellington are known for their indoor players, playing indoor ultimate frisbee, played on a basketball court, so you throw a lot more high releases and more unorthodox throws. So.
Now this will be the normal outside on a field, but you've got indoor, normally played basketball court size things. What have they got?
We also got beach ultimate as well, which is played on about the same size as the basketball court, but outdoors. Actually, it'd be similar to this field, I believe. And then we also have in the States, you have the professional leagues, which are played on American football fields, a little bit shorter. So.
But certainly the bigger field, a lot more space to move, a lot more running.
Yeah.
A lot more demand for aerobic fitness. Always looked up.
Emma, just can't run that one in either. We also have different numbers of peoples as well. So we play 7s in competitive frisbee, and then 5s for schools and social, and then indoors is 4. So unlucky to rein that one in.
Also tougher to catch on a jump. But there's Elliot Mans making a call, looking for cutters. Another tuku.
Sideline calls for Pack to be chilly currently.
Just their patience.
Flick into zone. 4s.
Nice, we're even. Far all. Watch this cut, heads one direction, other cutter hits, quite clear and open. It's a lot easier to catch if you haven't got a defensive player close to you. It's one less thing to think about. Hit it left. Nice play. So Wellington walk back to their line down the other end of the field. They'll receive the disc this time. Have another chat. What's working well? What they need to work on, any adjustments to the play.
Coach is trying to rally the players right now. As a coach, it's always easy to take a knee and say, we need to do this, this, and this, and this, but putting that into action is
yeah.
A little bit more work. So currently it's quite an even game, obviously by the score 4-4s, but I think Wellington are having a lot more luck on their hucks or long throws, while Pack are working that little handler area a lot better. So it'll be interesting to see. Just looking for one and done.
Going long,
one and
putting
done.
it up. Oh, nice break though. Nice. That was a good option and a good throw.
Yeah, lovely throw out in front of the receiver. As you see, he just blitzed past. It just can't rein it in. Oh, unfortunately, great look though.
Pakuranga running that stack. We've got 2 handlers on the left of our screen. Here's the cut from the stack. Continuation cuts. Nice. And as a safety, possibly dump if the time gets up on that count to 10 for each one. They'll look to someone to dump to. There's a dump. Oh, and nice defence. Nice defence by Mitchell Sue.
Foul call on the receiver.
Was it called as a strip?
I think it was a foul. I think he hit his arms, but it's back in position now.
Certainly wasn't contested.
Yep.
And Pakuranga keep possession. He's looking for options, trying to move his defensive player a little bit.
Pack being very...
Mitchell Sue's keeping close defence on that other handle. They've gone up again.
Oh. Does an inside-out backhand huck break on the break side. So that was a lovely shot. Just couldn't rein it in. Quite a lot of hands to these discs though currently. So the throwers that you're throwing to receivers, it's just not being able to get that connection. Wellington off they go. Wellington try to put on a lot of pressure here. Forehand around. Oh, it just holds up in that wind currently. The wind is like, with Pack going upwind, the wind is just forcing that frisbee like, into the ground if you give it any edge. So the wind kept pushing it into the ground. It's very hard to make it sit out for the receiver to run onto. So.
Plus these kids are playing in 9-10 degree temperatures, but the chill factor is dropping it to about 3 or 4. So with cold hands it makes it even harder.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're going up.
Another backhand huck.
And out the back. Hard to judge, but a good option and good distance. They got good separation. Look at that go.
Yeah, we're seeing Wellington with the intent to just huck and score deep and going downwind, which is definitely viable currently in these conditions. And just the further you throw it downfield, the more they have to work that all the way back up. So
yeah, and into the wind as well.
Otherwise known as huck and D.
Yeah.
But the fact that they are hucking to open targets is great to see. A few open players, forehands. Pack just using that up the line.
Nice forehand, they've gone big.
Out in front. We've seen Pack fake that off quite a few times already. They get a few up the lines and then they holster and try to swing. But another huck, forehand this time from Elliot Mance. Again, help the back.
And if it doesn't work out, we'll make them play from that end of the field.
Too many wheat picks this morning from
Elliot Mance. Yeah.
But as I said, the intent's there. Scoring one and then play D. So
I quite like the way Elliot's controlling things in the handler space. When he's get the disc, he's calling, he's talking to his team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Pakuranga in a vertical stack here. 2 handlers up on the goal line, and 3 cutters. Here we go. Initiation from the back of the stack.
Here we go. Another one.
Second, nice. Exactly the same as the play before. They've got a safety. Elliot's trying to defend the other Pakuranga player over there, who's going to come in for the dump because the count's getting a little bit higher. We're back on it.
Those 2 continuation swings on their break side, they're just coming a few seconds late, and so the defense's pressure's on already. But they're working really well using these unders currently.
Change, nice. Nice
break.
Change to the backhand. Even though the defensive player was trying to cut that out.
Yeah.
Nice, and we would have been tempted to let that loose. But given this wind and conditions, sometimes stay a little bit chilly. Keep it a short game.
Absolutely. He's just looking for the inside. There you are.
Nice. He's now got
they're around fleck.
2.
Holding up. Big grab.
Nice. One-handed grab. Well done, Pakuranga. Gemua mā te kotahi up by 1 over Wellington.
15 minutes to go in this game. It's currently, it's tough work getting those upwinds, but as we saw, Wellington having 4 deep shots, so they can be on. It's just dialing in that little bit more, and they'll eventually connect. Yeah, like we said, Elliot Mance being more of a general on this team, the main handler, directing where the team should go. I think he is trying to just look for those deep hucks currently, but I think maybe just trying to if they don't keep working, maybe just swing that frisbee a little bit, get someone coming out of that open side. I think dump swinging right now would be good for them to get that movement downfield. Hucking from a standstill is in these fields not as difficult, but it can still be better to throw in motion. So.
We had a timeout call. Certainly got all Pakuranga on the field in a huddle, having a strategy. Wellington coaches just pulling out the odd player and showing them through some positioning on defence. May want to work on.
Yeah, I'm unsure who called the timeout. Rory Moore having a big chat to his team right now, but it could also be the Wellington team just for a quick breather. Having 6 players, the extra minute for all your players to have a breather is to come out and fight for this point.
Talking about players like that, national players who, and actually there's a few of them here coaching teams from their local community. Again, coming back to those number of people who make sport like this happen. And I think of Ian Stewart. Now, Ian Stewart he's employed part-time by NZU, New Zealand Ultimate, but the amount of time that he gives of his own as a volunteer as well to run tournaments like this, particularly with secondary schools sport up in Auckland, but tournaments like this as well as he's coaching a team. So he's pretty much put this whole tournament together, and he's been living and breathing Ultimate for years.
Yeah, it just comes back to that passion. We like a lot of the sport is mostly unpaid in playing and for coaching, volunteering, etc. So it's all volunteer run. Pretty much every tournament is done the same way. So just be so thankful to, if you are playing currently, to the people organising your tournaments, to your coaches, to your admins.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes that you may not be aware of. So
yes, and even the tournaments that there's some social tournaments around the country, but NZU still supports those whatever's needed, not just indemnity insurance, but also guidance with make sure all boxes are ticked, funding's checked, that you've got everything just to make a successful tournament. Because as the mission for NZ New Zealand Ultimate is more people playing better Ultimate.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially in those smaller regions, it's great to have like a handbook, I guess, in a sense, or people that have done it before and just getting that insight. So. Yeah, the mahi hard call on the sideline just then. Hard work, boys. Here we go.
Elliot Mans with the disc, looking for options.
Back of his own end zone. This is a rough place to be. Looking to hark.
Came out flat, but the wind turned that.
Yeah.
Another tuku.
Yeah, it's a tough position to be in the back of your own end zone. A lot of pressure. You don't just get the pressure from having defense on you, but you also the pressure of maybe throwing a Callahan, which is when the defense catches a block in their own goal for a goal. So push pass across.
Nice. Notice the step footwork.
Yeah.
You want to catch it with any part of the ground that you're contacting has to be in the play area. So that's why quite often they'll drag a foot if you're heading out over the line. And it doesn't matter if your second foot coming down is out. If you've got the disc in hand and your foot, part of your body is contacting inside the playing area, it's still in.
Fun enough, as I called, seeing Wellington use a bit more handler movement, a bit more swings. They've done that, and they're now looking to strike for the score.
Nice forehand, nice look.
You love to see when the commentary comes real. Great swinging around for the Wellington handlers, Elliot Mance and Ben McLanahan.
Is that Mitchell Zoo on the
receiving end?
Nice.
Great goals.
Even when he caught that, he made sure his foot he wasn't quite sure where he was, but he made sure his right foot came down first.
That's 2 goals and an assist for Mitchell so far. Big. People say that stats don't give you an outlook on the game. I tend to disagree sometimes when you have people assisting and scoring like that. 6-5. Tight game right now. We'll see what see how if Pac can work this one upwind. I think the wind has died down a little bit from looking at the trees surrounding, but still not easy conditions.
Wellington's ready on the line.
Elliot Mance calling out matchups currently for who his team should mark.
Pakuranga ready.
Pack ready.
Hands up, we're ready.
We have a different rule for subbing in this tournament, where it is revolving door subs. You don't, usually in Frisbee you have to sub at the end of a point, but for this tournament you can sub at halfway if you high five a sub on the sideline. So you can come off at halfway, high five your teammate, and they can hop on for you.
Nice defense from Mitchell Sue. Got a hand to it, puts it out. There's a tuku.
Strikeable position right now. Elliot Man's picking that disc up.
They're heading downwind.
Coming in a bit out on the brick mark, on the sideline of the brick mark. So
Wellington a lot flatter across.
seems to be doing that. Got a small. They're doing a horizontal in their own end zone currently. No movement so far.
Cut up the middle.
Nice.
Nice.
Handler goes up the line to clear that space, but just can't connect on that backhand swing. That was good movement though. The handler for Wellington going up the line to clear that space for the middle of the horizontal to come back for.
Yep.
Forcing him backhand currently.
Hugo Korn there was with the cut. He was free, just a little bit low. Understandable given his height. Couldn't quite pick it up.
Nice up the line cut. Can't connect. Good nice grab. Just going to have to grind this point up for Pac currently. Just swinging it between the handlers so far. If a team can just swing it between the handlers, they can just take good solid options downfield.
Good defense from Mitchell Sue. Now Elliot Mancy using his feet, any part of the body to try and stop that disc going where the handler wants to send it.
Big hut goes up.
Come on, ball.
Oh. Got quite a few meters of separation, but just couldn't rein that one in. You see the backhand going up and just hitting that kind of wind wall, which stops it going forward and just kind of turns it over a little bit. As my great friend Riley once said, I'd bet my house that this goes deep. And I would have kept my house.
Elliot Barnes looks.
And it's a goal. Nice shot.
Nice. Well done to Hugo Korn. No fives for everyone.
Having such a big
including
receiver.
Elliot. That was, that was a nice put, wasn't it?
Shot, yeah. Having such a tall receiver as well makes it a little bit room for error, you know. Going to get up, get that goal, but yeah, didn't need to, just right in the breadbasket for him.
Fakes the backhand and Mamua. Nice, strong forehand. Look at that floating down. Gives the receiver time to get under it. A nice clap catch.
Big.
Yeah, nice cutting. Mitchell Sue was also hitting up. He had some distance free on the left.
I think that, yeah, like I said before, the intent from Wellington and those downward points is just to score on that deep space.
Yeah.
Working those unders takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy, which I think Vic realised pretty early on that they don't have currently with only 6 players here.
Yeah.
So doing it in 1 compared to doing it in 50 is it's a lot easier. Especially if you have a throw like Elliot Mance.
Yeah. Well, here we are. Wellington, Kemuama te Kotahi, up by 1, 6-5 over Pakuranga. Under normal conditions, we'd have a much higher score by now, wouldn't we? We'd almost...
Yeah, potentially could even double it. It's,
Yeah.
yeah. Only 4 minutes left in before soft cap. Yeah, like the wind, as we see, like there'll be less turnovers and people will be a lot more movement downfield, where you see Pakuranga kind of holding that disc in the handlers, just swinging it back and forth, trying to find that right option.
Yeah.
Especially with that forehand going upwind, it could just turn over and disappear. So they're really trying to make sure that they have the right options. Pack downwind though.
Looking.
There seems to be a mismatch, and he's left in the deep, and it's a goal.
Nice. That was nice and quick. Again, downwind, picks up the kume, the pull. Watch his feet. Nice, just stepped over. Where's picks up? Good skills.
Jump over.
Good skills. Nice.
I think that was Jamie Mead with the assist there.
Back to 6-all.
As you can see, Pack's numbers are the size of a mini figurine on their sleeve currently, and we are up in the commentary box, which is really hard to see. But so apologies, we haven't been using your names as much.
But it's a good one. Tukina Tata Tēnei. This is a good tight game.
Very interesting getting into this the final few minutes of this game. 2 minutes left before soft cap, and so we plus 1 point to the highest score, and you play to that, and so that could happen during this point maybe, or even at the next one. So it could have a high influence on this game about who comes up.
Kume goes out on the full.
If the hooter goes during this point, they score it in +1.
Yeah, they finish the point,
and
then add one.
But if it goes to the next, they do the same thing. So it could actually have a big impact in this game. A hammer, huge hammer going up.
Oh. Nice look. And nice
He's
option.
everywhere.
Yeah, isn't he?
He is looking for goals on goals right now. Great attempt at that frisbee.
Also have to bear in mind with a small team, they're playing 4 games today.
Oh, just in and out. Oh.
Nice effort.
Hammer came in at a bit of pace, so a bit harder to read, but they get it back just at their own brick mark. Forces fade back into the front corner and just through again. Oh, Rory Zhang with the just in and out front corner. Floats up
in the air.
Gets it back. Stopping the roll.
Even if the defensive team get a hand to it, if it stays in the air and the offensive team manage to catch it before it hits the ground, it's still retained possession, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Pieced.
Nice effort.
So, like I said earlier, it's just all into their hands. They're always getting hands to these frisbees, which is good to see, but just not being able to collect some of them. This game could be completely different. Just a high forehand flick around to Mitchell again. Great D though.
Mind you, as Wellington mostly wants, they're happy to stay down this end.
That was Daniel with the block just then. Gets a dismark by Mitchell. Just looking up the line, faked off, swings around break side, and just pieced. Getting that vertical stack. Huge backhand around.
Good look, just a little bit too high, even for Hugo Coyne.
That's the hooter. There we are. So we finish this point, and then +1 to the highest score, and first team to reach that wins.
So much like, yep. So it'll be 8, first team to 8.
Yep. We are currently no hard cap though, so we've still got 2 points. Hard cap's usually when at a certain amount of time the game completely finishes, but so we're just playing a point cap here. Flick upfield. Ben to Elliott. There we go.
There's a nice stop by Ben McManahan.
Another hammer to that break side.
Oh.
An out call. I think they're in discussion currently. On the line was out.
Good. And that's the spirit we want, isn't it? Disputed call. It's not what can I get away with. It's what's right. They discuss the rule. Let's have a look at that foot there.
Oh.
And it's a good fair call.
It's a good fair call, yeah. And this sport is self-ref, right? So we're all out there making our own calls and having discussions about in and outs and whatnot. So it's great to see they can still have like a very close game and have calls like that.
Yeah. But he still comes back. Good on Mitchell.
Yeah, another one for those stats.
So we add one to that.
Game to 8.
Game to 8. Wellington at the moment leads. Ke mua mā te kotahi by 1. I love that spirit. It's why I think this is the best game that's suited for schools. It's self-refed. It teaches fairness. It doesn't need a lot of equipment. That's why teachers love it.
Yeah. 8 cones and a disc.
Yeah. And the skills, because you can make it a lot easier. I mean, don't want to use the word dumb down, but you can make it simpler. You can have it that possession doesn't change when there's a tuku, when there's a turnover, and just have kids out there just throwing the frisbee to each other, maybe without defensive players. And there's a whole lot of resources on the NZU website, ultimate.org.nz, and if you go under resources there, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a parent who's suddenly in charge of a team at school, then there's some great coaching resources there, because as we've spoken about, the volunteers that help throughout all the sports in New Zealand, sometimes you're just a parent who has to stand up and say, I'll take this team because no one else is. And you may not have any experience in Ultimate before, but with those resources and that help, it gives you step by step how can you assess where your kids are and teach those skills that will bring them up to this level.
Yeah. Forehand down the line. Okay. Yeah, just go on that point. There are a lot of teachers or parents out there that have not actually played Ultimate Frisbee before, but they grab a bunch of kids, grab some resources, and just go out there and play.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have started playing the sport competitively through that too. So.
Yeah. And some of them are here coaching secondary school teams at the national level.
Yeah.
Not all players become good coaches, but you don't need to be a good player to become a good coach. And we're all learning. These kids are still learning every game. Every time they throw the disc, it's practice for them. There's some high. They're trying to stop that hammer coming over the top.
They know what they're looking for, I think. Backhand fake. Quick movement to that break side by Elliott Mance to Ben.
Hugo Cohen's disappeared off the screen. He's gone long. He's coming back now. He just wants to move his defensive player. You see him in the right of that screen there. He just wants to move his defensive player to a position.
Oh, great block.
It was nice.
Yeah, Pack really. So I think Wellington just looking for that long ball.
And we're up.
Going upwinds very hard, but just a little bit too much oomph on that back end right there. I mean that hammer, sorry. Pack really need work here to get this disc back. If Wellington score this, that's game over. So Pack really need to dig deep for this point. secure this one to go to Universe point. Universe meaning scores are locked up and whoever scores the next one wins. So.
Got Wellington with 2 handlers.
Here we go. Up.
Elliott with the disc again.
Looking big.
Faking a Mahmoudi, a backhand. Sends out a forehand.
The stag's very deep right now. Just need to get that a little bit closer. Oh, can't rein that one in. Here's a chance that Pack needs. They need to be really chilly with this frisbee.
You hear that cry from the sideline. Chilly, chilly,
Chilly,
chilly.
chilly, chilly, yeah.
Patience.
Yeah. Patience with the frisbee right now. They've shown that they can just swing that frisbee between the handlers. They don't need to throw these long shots up. That was just a misconnect on the under there. Big pressure. Oh, great D. Reading the high release backhands that Mitchell's done a few times so far. Front corner. Oh, just can't rein that one in.
Good luck.
Yeah, just.
And it's a little bit tough when you're going up and you're right on the sideline, especially if you jump for it. You're trying to think, where are my feet? Can I still stay in, as well as concentrate on the catch?
Yeah. So that's a forehand, but it just comes a little bit quick, I think, going downwind. You know, just if you put it, what we call a bullet, throwing with a lot of force, throwing that downwind, it just gains speed. So it's really hard to rein those ones in, especially when that close to the sideline and thinking about it in your defender.
Elliott Mann's tight defense here.
Oh, just a missed drop. It's all right. Go this last point, just trying to grind it in.
Elliott talking to his team.
Good swing.
Nice.
Meters. It's up in the air. It's going to float. Moss put underneath it. Tipped.
Still up.
Tipped. Hands on heads just there from everyone.
As we said, it's not down till it hits the ground. It can bounce around bodies and hands. It depends who catches it in the end.
Big backhand, Huck goes.
Big.
Oh, it's just out of bounds. Not bad from Pack though, taking a page from Wellington's book of the Huck and D. Looking for that quick score. Wellington now have to bring that in on their own front corner. Calls to the sideline. He doesn't touch it. Trying to lock him up on defense. Hat comes off. Need some big defensive plays from Pack here. No Huck. Huck goes up.
Gone big. Upwind, it's floating.
Into the middle. Both teams looking for the big shots currently.
I think players are feeling a little bit slower to get into formation for the offense and defense.
It's been a long game so far. Coming up with 60 minutes played.
Yeah. Call is chilly.
Open player there right now in the opens. Doesn't want to throw it. Throws it around, flick. Floats up. Blocked by Mitchell. Both teams calling chilly now.
Elliott has it on to Mitchell.
I completely forgot that we were commentating currently because I'm so invested in watching this point unfold.
Coming up, still up in the air. Catch it. Nice patience.
They're going to have to look for the swings. Look for that right option.
Maybe they just want short fuse.
Yeah.
Short throws.
It's an open flick there. Doesn't want it.
And I think Wellington are happy to let that swing pass go as long as it's not getting close to the goal line.
Pack getting close. Up the line to that front corner. But Mark takes it away. Inside flick. Oh. And just another drop in the end zone.
I think
I think
Elliot's calling for a
trying to
timeout.
Usually you'd have to pick up the disc and bring it up to the front and call timeout. But I think they both agree, and then it's just it's just got to be a timeout. And we're back.
And back to the show.
Yeah. So this point is, I think, been about 10 odd minutes so far. So just a timeout can really try to get the team to reset and go over what they're trying to achieve. Like I said before, Pack really are fighting for this point to bring it back to evens, where Wellington are trying to finish it here. Yeah. Currently Elliot's talking about what he wants from his team downfield as a general, while Pack have the coaches trying to get the team to just really grind it out. I think we've seen a big difference in team plays from here, where we have Elliot Mance kind of being the general, but Pack are all kind of involved in their play and how they're playing and how they're swinging. So it's more of a...
Much of the defence we're seeing in this game is match. It's man-to-man. You've got your player, you want to stick to them. If they cut towards the disc or they go long towards the goal line, you want to stick with them. Haven't seen a zone yet.
Yeah.
And zone being a little bit like basketball, you're responsible for an area of the field and anyone within it, and it adjusts to where the disc is. But yeah, match is obviously working for them.
Yeah, surprising, because zone can be really effective in winding conditions. It just makes you force a few more throws and makes you kind of use the handlers a lot more than the downfield. But also, I think just a lot of teams have a big hut goes up from Elliot Mance, floats it. Does it come back in? To a receiver. Pops up again. Oh. Can't rein that one in. So Pack get another shot at it. Back to the zone, sorry. Yeah, so I think it's about the amount of time you have at trainings, I think, as well. Secondary schools, there's still a lot.
Yeah, it's harder to coach, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite a different mindset. It's a lot easier to say, here's the player that you're going to mark, stick with them, and try and deny him the disc. Going up.
Just can't write that in either. We see, so for zone, I think it's a lot more, it's not, I want to say experienced play, but it takes up a lot of time, a lot of trainings that you could spend on throwing, offensive cutting, defense, and stuff like that. So it's something that you can add to your repertoire.
Yeah.
But yeah, we might see a few teams pull out later on. But currently it's just person-on-person action. On the sideline, look for that Poppy. Picks it up. He just wants to go. Inside backhand.
Nice.
What a shot.
What lovely.
Lovely shot. Bringing us to seven apiece. Universe point. This is a lovely inside backhand shot. Threading the needle between the defenders.
Nice cut, nice pass. And that's part of that adjustment, isn't it? As players get more tired with the game, they sometimes hang off their players. They're not quite as close to them, which leaves that opportunity as I can get that pass through there. And for the person cutting through, I can find that space.
Yeah. I think it's just like the mental fatigue, I guess, as well. Like trying to think, where should I be right now?
Yeah.
Like, what do I need to do? But, I mean, they were still close. They were still here to thread that between two defenders.
Yeah.
It was a tough shot, but a nice shot.
And talking about the number of time practice and the amount of practice, and I was thinking of when what could parents do to help their kids? Maybe they've just started ultimate, and again you may have we're used to the mamuri, the backhand, but the forehand. And the opportunity to ask your kid if they want to get better in ultimate and say, do you want to come down for some throws? And take them down to the park. And they can practice that forehand. Because in a game, if you're a handler and you're handling the disc a lot, you'll be doing a lot of passes. But for a lot of the other players, they won't. Or even if you're a handler and you want to improve those sort of skills, the more practice, the better. And even 10, 15 minutes down at the park, you could have 200 more passes, which is, 20 times more than you'd possibly get in a game.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Universe point. Alec Mance gets the disc, finds an open receiver. Coming down. Caught. Mitchell.
And
wow, that's game. Universe point. And we've been seeing that all game long. Elliot Vance to Mitchell for the final point.
Wellington College with the win, 8-7. And that's it from us. We'll be back here with the next game in about half an hour.
We'll see you guys shortly. Thank you for tuning in.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
This isn't about long-distance calling, technology, or living overseas.
Do I have one more bid? Thank you.
We're going to go one. We're going twice.
And we are sold to the Kiwi phone bidder from Manchester.
It's about Bailey's finding buyers that others can't.
A big thank you to Apollo Projects for providing the funding.
It's really helped our kids to have more opportunities.
Gaining the extra funding really goes a long way to providing opportunities.
We are low on the socioeconomic index, so our students haven't got $200 when we're going away for these trips.
Students often miss out on opportunities because of the financial commitment.
More often than not, the student has to give up their sport.
With the funding from Apollo Projects, we've been able to lower travel costs to allow more students to participate in secondary school competitions.
Your generosity has enabled us to enable these students to be able to play in these sports, be able to just be the best versions of themselves.
We're really grateful, and I cannot express that enough about how and what it means to us.
No time to fluff around today? No worries. Just swing into Caltex and pay for fuel with Pay an App to speed on through. Ooh, yeah. Feels good. Use it at your local participating Caltex.
As a small rural school, obviously travel is an issue for us. We compete often in the Waikato competitions, and so anything that gives us an opportunity to provide sporting chances to our students is very welcomed.
We are very grateful for the funding. It's going to help a lot of our students here at Tikuti High School, especially one of our students, Callum Headley. He has made the New Zealand Kia Orahi team.
Callum making the New Zealand team is great for Callum and for the school, but it also provides that impetus for other students coming through to see that you can come from a small school and achieve great things.
We are very grateful to have it because it helps us out a lot with our travel and accommodation to all our tournaments.
All of those essential things that he needs to be paid for. The biggest thing is helping his parents.
And that's thanks to support that we get from Callum Fund.